Hello there. So, continuing on with this theme of judgment and fear of what other people might think of ourselves, there's an interesting thing happens I find a lot when I'm working one to one with clients, and it's this. If we have the same type of people approaching us or being in our life and maybe saying things to us and us not speaking up, doing things to us not responding the way we'd want to respond, we see this continually occurring over and over, even up into adult life as well. The interesting thing is that whenever we are younger, if we have been in situations where we haven't been able to speak up, where we haven't been able to stand up for ourselves, where we are afraid of putting ourselves out there, those people who made us feel like that, who maybe weren't so nice to us and were giving us a hard time and maybe told us we were worthless, we weren't going to amount to much, and if you put yourself out there, you're going to make a complete fool of yourselves. In other words, the people that aren't very supportive, they may no longer be around, they may not be part of your life anymore. And if you fast forward 10, 15, 20, 30 years, um, have you noticed that there are other people come into your life that are like those first bunch of people? In other words, you've got people around you now who aren't supportive. You've got people around you now who are making comments towards you that are similar to the ones that you felt years ago. You're feeling the same way. You're thinking the same thoughts whenever you experience these people. My belief is that the reason that you are having these experiences now in a similar way to what you had years ago is simply because years ago, when we're younger, especially children, and especially most likely before the age of 7, um, at that time, you weren't able to stand up for yourself. You may not have been able to speak up for yourself. You may not have been able to stand up and say exactly what you want, do what you want, and respond because you're a child. You may not have felt safe to do that. So there's unfinished business. The things that go undone and unsaid, I believe we carry them around with us until we resolve them. Now, most people will either subconsciously create situations where they want to finish that unfinished business, or they'll just subconsciously attract into their lives people who remind them of people from the past. The result is the same, it's still unfinished. I know that might be a hard thing to maybe get your head around, but basically, if it's left, can you imagine watching a film and you've got 10 minutes left on that film? And it's been brilliant. Maybe it's a thriller, and then the electricity goes out, or something happens to your TV, and you don't know how the film ends. You might be running around the next day asking people, can you tell me what happened in the film? Or most likely you'll want to try and get a rerun of the film. So that'll be front and center. It's a wee bit like that. We create subconsciously or attract into our lives people who represent people from the past where we haven't been able to say and do what we wanted to do. And therefore, once we do this in therapy, now you can do this in real life, and people can try to play it out and stand up for themselves and make sure they don't get talked down, and they speak up and they really push themselves out there. That can be one way to do that, but a more gentle way to do that is to do that within a session, because within a session, the interesting thing is when you close your eyes, your mind does not, and you imagine something, your mind does not know what's real and what's imagined. Your body can respond even just to what you think about. So, in a session, we can neutralize the hurt, we can dissolve all of that trauma, we can get ourselves into a balanced state, and then we can say, well, how would we like things to have been? And you can say and do the things in your imagination, in your mind, that you didn't get saying and doing before. Very, very powerful technique. We can get our new learning from that, our new awareness from that. We can get our new beliefs from that, and then we can create a new point of attraction. So it's amazing how whenever you do this type of work and you clear the past and you do feel that you've got resolution and things have come to an end, as regards that situation, that you no longer attract people like that into your life. And the other side effect of that is the people in your life who may not be supportive to you, they'll not understand why you're changing. They might not even like why you're changing, because you'll have been a certain way, you'll have been subservient, you'll have been timid, you'll have been shy, and then all of a sudden you start to get your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth. And it's not an arrogance, it's just a self-belief, self-love, self-acceptance. You feel that in your body and you believe that in your mind. And then the people that are less likely to want to be around you are the people who have tried to put you down. Whereas you'll attract, instead of concentrating on those people who have not been good for you, you'll attract into people like you, and you'll attract in people who will like you, and you'll like them. And then again, it's your new point of attraction. It's like what we talked about earlier, that wall with the gold brick. You'll attract more points of attraction, and you'll start to fill that wall in with more good, positive experiences, more gold. So again, just something that I wanted to share with you. And again, it's a benefit of doing sessions. When you start to clear the past, you get back to who you really are, and you have a wonderful now and an even more exciting future.